Alright, in this video I'm going to be testing out the Walksnail digital HD FPV system. And this one came with a VRX, which I hooked to my box goggles. I have the Cobra X's, and it also has a Nano kit. I bought the Nano for this one. Okay, so this is what they're calling the VRX system. This is attached with some tape on the double-sided tape on the back of here. And what it does is allows me to go HDMI into whatever you have that supports HDMI. Right now I'm using the Sky Zone Cobra X's, and they have an HDMI input down at the bottom. And to power it up, I'm using an old Eachine EV100 battery that came with those goggles, and it does power up this VRX, so we'll go ahead and use that. I did order the Nano, and I ordered the other one, the bigger camera. That's not in yet, but this is the Nano that I have with it, and I have it mounted on the front. And since it's a Nano and this usually supports the bigger camera, it came with this adapter right here so that I can put the smaller camera in there, and it fits nice. And down at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it, but the VTX is down here, and it was a simple plug into my flight controller, and that was pretty much it. I did cut a couple slits in here so I could stick the antennas out the back, and that's pretty much the only modification I had to make. So I am going to test it against the Beta FPV camera. It's another Nano camera. This is made by A&T or Ant. So it's another Nano camera that I have, so I'll do a screen recording of this one and also do screen recordings with this one and show you the difference. We'll go ahead and fly this one first and see what that looks like in a recorder. Alright, now we'll switch it over to the other drone. Alright, so I'm going to do a voiceover because I forgot and left my hat down beside me, so the audio didn't come out too good. So what I'm trying here is going back behind the house. Again, I'm pointing forward, and you can see this latency breakup is really bad. It makes it almost uncontrollable. And so I brought it back around the house, and that's what I'm trying to do, is see what kind of penetration test this does using those two omnidirectional antennas on top, because the patch antenna is facing forward towards the street. Now when I go back here with my analog system, I do get breakups, but I don't have an issue with latency, so I'm still able to fly the drone just fine. But as you can see with this digital system, that latency can be really bad, and if you're close to something, close to a tree or anything like that, you could be in real trouble and end up smacking right into it. Alright, so I'm just going to fly it around a little bit and do the same test pattern and show you the breakups that I'm getting. And I'm on the standard bit rate. I figure if I put it on the high bit rate, it'd be even worse. So I just left it at 25, and you can see back, sometimes it went down to, that time, about down to 6, 5, because what I did was turn my head around. I turned my head around towards the rear to point the antennas, the patch antennas, more towards where I was. So it did give better coverage, but still the bit rate did drop. So I am facing down toward the street, and I'm sitting at 25 megabits per second, but I'm not very far away, only a couple hundred feet. Actually, I was turned towards the house, so that still wasn't bad without having the house as an obstacle when the drone was behind me. So you saw there I was standing facing the rear direction and didn't have too much of an issue with breakups until I got over here. So I'm still pointing down back towards the back right here, and I'm going to see what I get. I'm still going through the house. I'm at 11 megabits. I'm going to turn it around. It got down to 7, down to 5, and then as soon as I turned around, it went down to about 2 to 4. So I didn't want to chance it. And so here I decided to go ahead and walk out about to where the gray car is, so that I'm away from the house, so I can go in the back and fly around the trees and see what I get. So now that I have a clear line to the back of the trees, seeing there's any breakups, still looking at 25 megabits, still looking good. Really no trees in the way yet. As soon as I make the turn, a couple trees got in the way, it dropped down to 3. And you can see where I'm standing right there. That shouldn't have been that much of an obstacle to make it drop down that many megabits. And as you can see in the video, you may have some issues with latency, flying like you normally would with analog. Just be mindful of that. You can see the small antennas. A lot of people suggest changing out these antennas. It has internal patch antennas right here, and these little nubbies I don't think they're very good from what I've heard. See, I was hoping I could have this on my head, have the house behind me, and it fly through the house like I could with the analog portion, using the same goggles, but using analog. I could fly back there. I get breakups, but I could definitely see where I was going, and it wouldn't affect my flight. Using the digital FPV system, whenever you get the breakups with this, instead of it going into just showing you breakups, it actually started to lag. So now what I'll go ahead and do is try to put it in 720p and see if that makes a difference. Still says 84 degrees. We'll try flying it around. See if that goes down once we start flying. And it went off. So you don't have long. So I'm still facing away from the house. Still got the breakups. Oh boy, I'm gonna crash. Okay, that didn't change anything. Just make sure going down south of these trees is no problem because I'm facing down this way. No breakups down through here. You can see where I'm sitting. Goggles got low battery, so I need to hurry up and put them in. Got the 7 volts. Let's go ahead and put it. Alright, so looking on the back of the box, I can see right here it says 7 volts to 25.2 volts. And that's why it was getting low voltage. This is a 2S pack. So once it got down to 7 volts, this thing started saying low battery. Even though this one had 2 bars, it's a 7 volts. This needs a minimum of 7. So you need to get a 3S battery if you're going to connect to it, not a 2S. Alright, that's it for my video of the Walksnail Avatar VRX system. It is a nice digital system. The pros of it, it's easy to connect up to your box goggles. It looks good in the box goggles, and you need to have a minimum of a 3S battery. Don't use 2S like I did, or once you get to 7 volts, it will start yelling at you because it's low battery. Setup was real simple. I just plugged it into the port, and it was ready to go. The downside to this is it did not have the same penetration as my analog system. And that was pushing at 700 milliwatts. And that could be due to the fact that 2 of the antennas are patch antennas pointing down this way. And I was trying to shoot behind me through the house, which I can do with the analog. And with this system, I could not. So that leads me to believe that if I had some penetration, I'm trying to get through a building or get behind a building where I may be able to do it with analog, you may have some issues doing it with this digital system. And I'm new to digital, so maybe that's just the way digital is, and maybe that's why a lot of PV pilots stick with analog. I'm not sure. So I guess it is what it is. Alright, that's it for this video. I'll be doing more tests with this one, and when I get the larger camera, I'll go ahead and make a video on that one. And we'll keep testing this out, make some videos, and see how it looks. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.